Systems of equations. Systems of equations are basically how we know in other ways. It's simultaneous equations. So let's say we have 4x plus 3y equals 2, but we also get given 5x plus y equals 1. How do we solve these two missing variables? Well, we have to do simultaneous equations or systems of equations. And there's two ways you can do this. Elimination and substitution. Now, elimination, it's basically you have to cancel out one of the missing variables in order to figure out the other. So, for example, if we have 4x plus 3y equals 2, like we said here, and then 5x plus y equals 1, if we times this bottom one by 3, giving us 15x plus 3y equals 3, then when we subtract the two equations, we cancel out the y's, because 3y minus 3y is 0. 15 minus 4x, then we have 11x, and then 3 minus 2, 1. There we go, we get 1 over 11. Once we figure out one of the values, remember we can just simply input it. So if we just knew x to that, then we just do input into another equation. So 5, instead of x, we now have the value of x, plus y equals 1. Then we have 5 over 11 plus y equals 1. And then y equals 11 over 11 plus 5 over 11, which is 6 over 11. So that is how you figure it out. That's eliminations. It's one of the easier formats because you don't waste as much time. Now, however, you do have to realize that you can use the two formulas or the two methods whenever you want. It's not like you have to choose one all the time. Now, for substitution, it is different because it tends to be longer, and we rearrange. So if you want to figure out the 4x plus 3y equals 2, right? Because there's two missing variables, we can't just do that. So we can rearrange another one, let's say 5x plus 1, into y equals 1 minus 5x. And so now that we have y equals 1 minus 5x, we can just substitute that into the other equation, which is 4x plus 3. But wait, we know what y is, which is 1 minus 5x, so we just substitute it, and then we just equal 2. And now we just solve, and we easily get 11x plus 3 equals 2. 11x equals minus 1, x equals minus 1. So that is how you do it. And you tend to realize that you will get the same answer if you do substitution or elimination, because that is just how it works. Now, for the other aspect, if you want to do this with maybe a missing parameter, which we tend to get asked in IB level questions, we will have, let's say, mx plus 6y equals minus 2. And then we have 7x plus 3y equals 5. And so they may ask you to find what value of the real parameter will you need to have no solutions. Now, don't get mistaken or confused by this. This is simply figuring out the value of x or y as if you had the value m. Just don't get confused. There's just more algebra. So for here, let's just do, we want to do elimination because it's quicker, times 2 this one because we can cancel out the 6y. So mx plus 6y minus 2, and then we multiply the other one, which was 7x by this is 7x. Then we do 14x plus 6y equals 10. Subtract them. We have, cancel this out, we have mx minus 14x equals minus 2. Well, this is actually equals minus 2. Minus 2 minus 10 minus 12. And so now we remember we're solving for x. We're trying to figure out the x value as if it's a normal equation. So we just substitute out, well, we factor out the values of x equals to minus 2. And then the actual value of x must be minus 12 over m minus 14. So we know that if it says no solutions for the equation to not work, we need to have here undefined. That means m has to equal 14 because 14 minus 14 is 0, and anything over 0 is undefined. That's basically how it works for parameter questions. And you get that all the time, and just the other way around that you may get asked is instead of no solutions, you get unique solution. Now, unique solution basically means that instead of saying it has to equal to 14, that it just cannot equal to 14 in order to actually get the value we want, an actual value of x. But this means that there's only one value of x. And now we just go into basically the 3 multiple equations. So instead of just 2, we can now have 2x plus y plus z equals 1, 3y plus 2z plus x equals 4, y plus z plus 2x equals 5. Now, don't get confused once again. This is not anything confusing. This is just more variables. All we have to do here is find one that we can either use to eliminate in both equations or use to substitute into both equations. So let's say we want to choose the first one, right? Let's say we want to substitute this one here. So what we're going to do is that let's say we want to eliminate. Okay, we want to eliminate. Let's say we first of all not have to separate. So we have to separate these two equations into themselves because we're going to use them to eliminate. Plus x equals 4. Then we have to put, by the way, guys, we have to rearrange this formula to make it look like nicer. So instead of 2x plus y, we can do y plus 2x, well, plus z plus 2x equals 1. And then we have, here we have y plus z plus 2x equals 5. Then we have the one that we're trying to cancel out, the elimination, which is going to be 3y plus 2z plus x equals 4. Now, as we can tell here, all we have to do is just, let's say we want to multiply this one by 2 to cancel out z. Now, let's say we have 3y plus 2z plus x equals 4. 2y plus 2z because we multiply the equation in order to cancel out. Plus 4x equals 2. Now we just subtract them, cancel this out. We get minus 3x equals 2. And then we get, here when let's say we want to cancel out 2x. Sorry, if we're going to be canceling out, we have to cancel out the same variable in both. We have to cancel out both. So if we canceled out z, here, we have to cancel out z here too. So we're going to multiply the top one instead of the original substitutor. And so we're going to have 2y plus 2z plus 4x equals 10 with the original one that we placed in two equations, 3y plus 2z plus x equals 4. Take that away. So now we have minus y, cancel those, minus 4x plus 3x, and then we have 6. Now that we have these two equations, we do the same thing we did on top. We just do system of equations, but for 2. And we just figure out x and y like we did before. Let me just show you the example. Equals 2 minus y plus 3x equals 6. Now be aware, as if you can tell this, if you can tell straight away, this is a confusing question because they're kind of similar. So when we're doing minus y minus y, that's gonna be 2y. Then not cancel out. Be careful. And then minus 3x minus 3x is minus 6x. So do not think that they're both just going to cancel out, okay? That's a big issue. Just remember how we did elimination or substitution. That's how it works with 3 equations. It's very straightforward, guys. It's not complicated. You just need to always understand the rule. And once again, we can also get asked, right? We have mx plus 2y plus z equals 4. Then we have x plus 2my plus z for 4z equals 1. And let's say 6x 2my plus z equals 0, right? We do the same thing again, guys. The same thing we did up here, right? We figure out the middle one because remember, we're just trying to figure out a value for x or y. Imagine m is just a value and we're rearranging with algebra in order to get it into the equation. So we first of all do like we always do, right? Let's just imagine we've figured out here, right? Let's figure it out that we want to cancel things out, right? So let's say mx plus 2y plus z, and we want to cancel out with the top one. Let's see what we can do. Let's cancel out the z's. So we times the top one by 4, and we have x plus 2my plus 4z. Students tend to get confused because they believe that with all the m's, we're not canceling everything out. Just you have to trust the process. As long as you're canceling out the variables, that's the important part. So we cancel out z first. So we have 4mx plus 8y plus 4z equals 16. X plus 2my plus 4z equals 1. Take them away. Now we have, cancel that out. 15 equals, now remember, 4mx minus x plus 8y plus 2my. Let me just write that bigger. 4mx minus x plus 8y minus 2my equals 15. Now, students tend to get confused because let's say we do the other 2 equations here, right? Blah, 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 these 2 here, and we solve, and we get another, let's say we get 8my plus 2x equals 2, then 3mx plus 4 equals 1 for x, right? If we get this, 4y, sorry. This part, remember, we can take it out, 4m minus 1 x, because we can factorize, plus, well, let's just do minus here, minus 2m. This is one here, right? What we should do is that I got confused. Again, students tend to do that. They tend to get confused thinking that we want to take out the m. We don't want to take out the m. We want to take out the y in order to get to 8 minus 2m. Because if you try to take out the m, then you get confused. Wait, what am I trying to solve for? What am I trying to figure out? And that's what we get. So remember, if we're trying to solve, let's say here in this equation, right? Sorry, it's just one equation. Remember, we're going to get at the end 1 equation only. We don't get 2. We get 1 because then we link these 2 together. So let's say now we have 2x plus 8my equals 2. Now, what we have to do, cancel the y's out, let's say, right? Let's say, in order to do this, this one's complicated, guys, because what we want to do is get the same, same coefficient. So what we're going to have to do the 2 is we're going to have to times it by 2 times m minus a half. Sorry. Let's just times everything. 2 times the 4m minus 1. And we times everything by the 4m minus 1. And then we also have the 2m minus 1 minus 2m. Y equals 15 4m minus 1. Times the top part by 2 because we want to get the same thing. 2 times 2. Now when we take away, these cancel out because they're the same thing. But look at the top part, right? Now we have 2, 8 minus 2m y minus 8 minus 2m 4m minus 1 y equals, let's just take it all out. Let's say it's 60m minus 15. Now, remember, we're trying to figure out y. We're not trying to figure out anything else. So all we have to do is link these two together. How do we do that? Well, if we just first of all, let's see what we do. We first of all want to do is that we have 16 minus 4m. Actually, no. What we could do is just take these out. Because we know when we take them away, it's just going to essentially be 2, 8 minus 2m, minus 8 minus 2m, 4 minus m1. And this is all part of y. This now means that y equals 60m minus 15 divided by 2, 8 minus 2m, minus 8 minus 2m, 4 minus m1. Guys, this is probably one of the hardest questions you will probably get because you have to do so much manipulation with algebra. But that is it. That is systems of equations, basically. Thank you.